Hello, dear friends. I just want to tell you how thrilled I am that my and Brett Hurd's book, Turn Me to Gold, has just been awarded the Nautilus and the Kendall Prizes and been declared one of Omega's best books. It's a best book of the month in a couple of months. This is thrilling beyond words to me because I deeply believe that Kabir with Rumi is one of the two universal mystic guides to the Renaissance that is struggling against obviously immense odds to be born in our world. I know this is a terrible, confusing, heartbreaking, sometimes paralyzing, and infinitely depressing time. And I know this, and I know that you know this. But what I want to say to you with all of my heart is that I believe, in fact, I think at this moment in my life, I know that this time is a global dark night which is designed perfectly and ruthlessly by the divine to help humanity mutate into the next level of divine empowerment, to birth, in other words, a divine embodied humanity. And that brings me back to why I spent 5 years of my life plunged into Kabir, being Kabirized at various temperatures, various ferocious temperatures. Kabir is the great guide to this turning to gold, to this creation of a divine humanity out of a death to the false self and a radiant birth in the true self. And the birth that Kabir celebrates is not only, and this is very important, not only the birth of the self in the mind and the heart, it is also crucially, and this is why Kabir is so essential and so important for us, the birth of the self in the very cells of the body. Now, there have been throughout human history, in all of the major religions and mystical systems, a very few people who woke up to the outrageous possibility of humanity not only being secretly divine in its consciousness, but divine in the very depth of the body. But they have been largely ignored and silenced by systems that became drunk on transcendence and not able to bring together divine transcendence with utter immanence, not able to bring together the fullness of the sacred masculine with the fullness of the sacred feminine. It was Kabir's unique distinction before Aurobindo took this vision into the depths of his scientific exploration and embodiment of evolution that really understood this, because he woke up not only in mind and heart but also in the cells of his body. So as we go through this tragic and ferocious dark night, nothing could be more important than really wrapping our holy minds and our holy hearts and our holy bodies around the vision of Kabir. Because it's this vision, I believe, that the divine has for us. We're in a period in which the human race is being mutated into a divine embodied human race. And if we align ourselves with this great dream of God to see human beings divinized so that God can create with us and in us and through us a wholly new world out of the ashes of the old. If we can align with this stupendous vision, with our full hearts, our full minds, our full bodies, then there is a real chance, however desperate the facts may seem in front of us, that we can together with the divine in us and through us and around us create a new world. This is so thrilling, and it's for this that I live my life, and all my teachings now are dedicated to getting this great good news out so that everybody can be soberly thrilled by it. I just want to share two of Kabir's poems that make it absolutely clear that he's speaking from being turned to gold, about this miraculous process that love makes possible through the infinite mystery of its grace for every single human being, beyond religion, beyond dogma, simply because as human beings, we have the original blessing of divine consciousness, but it's how we unpack that consciousness, how we live that consciousness, how we integrate that consciousness with every level, and how we enact that consciousness in sacred activism that makes all the difference. And Kabir knows that, and that's why he is with Rumi, our essential guide to the great transformation that we're in the turbulent midst of. So these two poems will give you an injection of glory and hope and optimism and joy at this moment, and I beg you to take them into the core of your being and really ruminate on them, caburate on them. The first one is my favorite, 5 lines, and it's such a stupendous poem. In this, Kabir says, "My father is the absolute Godhead. My mother is the embodied Godhead, and I am the divine child dancing for them both on their burning dance floor." You can't get more comprehensive and more ecstatic than that, and it's a totally real poem about the totally real, the new human that he knew he was. His father, he says, is the eternal light, which is engendering everything, all of the universes. And his mother is the embodied Godhead, the energy that that diamond of the Father emanates to create all things and to live in all things, because the entire universe, as all mystics have always known, and quantum science is now revealing, is nothing less than crystallized light energy. Kabir knows that knowing this, not just reading about this, but experiencing this, as I, through grace and through Kabir, have been led to the fringes of experiencing it, is a revelation, because you know that you are grounded in deathless consciousness, and through the embodied mother, you are birthed into an entirely holy and sacred creation. And what that engenders in you is the new divine human that Kabir so beautifully characterizes, not as some omnipotent, omniscient guru sitting on a throne, that's all patriarchal stuff, but a divine child, somebody liberated from fear, liberated from religious conventions, liberated from false laws, liberated from false divisions, to, as he says, dance for them both, dance for the deathless one and dance for the embodied one, who are, of course, interpenetrating in two aspects of the one reality, the one mystery, dancing for them both on their burning dance floor. The new human that's being engendered through this massive dark night is a being that knows deathless consciousness as its original, as his or her original truth, and also knows that the creation that he or her has been born into with the body is utterly permeated by the light and utterly sacred, and so is freed up to be a divine child, playful, wild, out of the box in every way, creative beyond belief, and to dance his or her life for both the father and the mother in the mystery of the one on the burning dance floor of the world. This is liberation, this is joy, this is divine childhood, this is freedom. This is the profoundest way, I believe, that we can live our lives. And now I just want to read you the other great poem that Kabir has given us about this process. And this is a longer poem, and it's really a very comprehensive poem, so I hope you won't mind me reading it from my book. It's this one, Turn Me to Gold. Please, please do nothing else but buy 100 copies each, because it's like giving a nuclear bomb of awakening to people, and it has the most astonishing photographs in it, which have got enormous praise now. Brett Hurd is really, he's only 30, but my God, he's one of the great photographers already, and he's doing astonishing work, and this is his first book, and I'm so proud of him, because he really has found a raw, pure, inspired visual equivalent of the raw, pure, inspired nakedness of Kabir. So here it is. Kabir drank in avidly the nectar of God's love. The well-baked pot will never again be turned on the potter's wheel. The wine of the beloved's love becomes more ravishing the more you drink it, but it is hard to buy, for the wine seller demands your head in exchange. Many throng around the wine merchant's hall. Let me put my glasses on, this is getting wild, because I have to see these words to be able to read them to you. So let me try and start again. Such is the divine child dancing irregularly. Kabir drank in avidly the nectar of God's love. The well-baked pot will never again be turned on the potter's wheel. The wine of the beloved's love becomes more ravishing the more you drink it, but it is hard to buy, for the wine seller demands your head in exchange. Many throng around the wine merchant's stall. He drinks his fill who offers his head. The rest get turned away, dry and empty. You are truly drunk with the beloved's wine, whose bliss never changes, when you roam like a mad elephant, forgetful of yourself. The bliss-drunk elephant forfeits its usual grasp for the arrow of love, burns within his heart. He's chained to the gate of love and throws dust on his own head. The drunken one is absorbed in one unknown. He has overcome desire, soared free of anxiety under the spell of love's wine. She transcends while in a body, the stage of liberation. The lake in which once not even a jug could be lowered, the love-mad elephant now bathes in with bliss. The temple has drowned along with its spire, and the birds go thirsty. Kabir exhausted many yogic alchemies, but found none like the Lord's love. If even one drop enters your body, your whole being turns to gold. Let us follow this glorious example of what we can be into the great transfiguration process, so that we too, with Kabir as our friend and guide, so that we too can turn to gold.